The Weather Fan Storm Prediction Center here with the winter 2011-2012 final edition of my Outlook. I'm going to try to go through this within 5 minutes, because there's a lot of stuff to go over. But first off, I'm going to start off with what our second edition of the Winter Outlook will look like, and this is what people were outraged when I went to a third edition, and the cold air wasn't this far south. I do believe it will be colder than average down there, just not that cold. I think it overdid the colder than average, and that's why you saw the big regression from that in the third edition, and down here it was more of a questionable thing. Still think it'll be warmer than average when you head down here. This is not the new forecast, this is my second edition of the forecast. This is the current, was the temperature one that came out for the second edition. For the third edition, which everybody was backed up about, just colder than average, being north of Tennessee and north of North Carolina and Atlanta, and just north of those areas, and warmer than average. Pretty much everybody practically agreed about that, but maybe a little bit too far north. Much colder than average, 46 degrees below average as you head up. But this is my my final update of my final edition, and when it comes to temperatures, you can see the colder than average temperatures drop pretty far south, and 2 to 4 degrees below normal as you head off into areas of Tennessee, North Carolina, Virginia, Maryland, DC, northbound. Colder than average, and have extended to farther south, and I'll tell you why in a video later this week. Slightly milder than average in the southeast, as I said, that hasn't changed. Around average in the west. If you're from this point to the west, nothing has changed. This point east, your colder than average air comes a little farther south. 46 degrees below average in the dark blue, light blue 2 to 4 degrees below average for the most part. This will probably be 1 to 2 degrees above average at most. Much above average as you head off into when it comes to precipitation, and even in the Pacific Northwest and in the Mid-Atlantic Northeast and in the Midwest and the Great Lakes. Slightly above average precipitation as you head up into North Carolina, South Carolina, northern Georgia, Arkansas, eastern tips of Oklahoma, but right around Texas, other than southwestern Texas and areas of southern Arizona, New Mexico, should remain dry. The way it's been is the way I think will remain, and in the Florida area I think will be around average. Here is the original one for the third. This is the third update. You see the winter battle zone is this far north. Now you're going to see that was the original forecast. But I'm going to show you something a little bit later. Above average temperature, above average snowfall, 15 to 20 inches if you're in anywhere from Pacific Northwest and even into DC, Maryland, and the big cities. I expect 15 to 20 inches above average. Some areas have already exceeded that by the big snowstorm that we've had, but expect 15 to 20 inches above average for the most part if you're in those areas, even into areas of northwestern and mountainous areas of North Carolina. Parts of Virginia could be about 10 inches above average, even into areas of Tennessee and Kentucky, in areas of northwestern Nevada and Missouri, and into areas of Montana should receive above average snowfall. Might above average if you head off into the interior. This is where the brunt of the storm will be, the interior parts, the northeast, and areas of State College and Pittsburgh and central Pennsylvania, where you guys have missed out. And I think we're going to see the main problem with the track of the last storm that we just had earlier this winter. The main problem with that was not the location of the low, is that no high pressure was over top, but I think that we will see more storms where there was just not enough cold air, and you'll see more snow off to the north and west. DC will still get its fair share of snow, and the big cities will still get their fair share of snow. So that's how things look now when the battle zone is farther south than it was, and cold and snow is as well. So that's how it looks now. I'll have another update later. Bye.